This boy has asthma. His parents want to sue the council over traffic pollution. This woman wants to destroy the glossy image of the car. Is Britain's love affair with the car about to end?
We want people, you know, before they put their key in the ignition to look around and feel guilty about polluting the air.
It started with road protests in the country, then demonstrations spread to the cities. Now even the government is asking us to leave our cars at home. Is the car set to become not a source of pride, but an object of shame? You're looking at the birth of a new phenomenon. Ordinary people have started fighting back against the car and sometimes, quite literally, taking matters into their own hands. Earlier this year, pedestrians took their own form of direct action against cars parked illegally on the pavement in a North London street. For maximum impact, they invited along an environmentalist video crew.
I think we all have the same idea. And there are a large number of our own members here. Okay.
The people behind this were the Pedestrians Association, one of a number of protest groups trying to turn us against the car.
This is direct action that the police should be doing, not us. As you can see, they're not arresting us, so we're clearly not doing anything wrong.
The distraught car owners were given short shrift.
I can't believe you just allowed them to do that.
Police have stood by to prevent a breach of the peace. No damage is being caused to these vehicles.
How do you know? I mean...
Your argument is with these people.
I can't believe you just let them do that, mate.
Do you say anything?
Yes, I do, actually. I think I'm being victimised and all the drivers are being victimised.
I'm a very unlikely person to be getting involved in direct action, but it seems to me that having lived a very law-abiding life for a very long time and used all the rational and the sensible arguments I could think of, and we haven't yet really got anywhere, that one has to think of something else. And it is possible that because little people like me get involved, that people actually sit up and take notice.
This is Gabriel. He's 9 years old. He has asthma. His mother believes his health problems are linked to this busy road in Greenwich, London. She and other parents in the area are part of an action group trying to force their council to close down the road in times of heavy pollution.
We think there's a tremendous amount of pollution, and we think that the pollution is triggering children's asthma, if not causing it. In the block where we live, about half the children have asthma, and we think that that is due to the fact that we live beside a very busy road.
Last week, the parents of 7 children suffering from asthma set a precedent when they were granted legal aid to pursue test cases against Greenwich Council. If they succeed, it could allow councils across the country to seal off city streets whenever pollution threatens.
In principle, I would like to see a solution to the problem. I do not see closing roads as a solution to this problem. It's questionable whether alternative methods of transport are actually in place at this moment in time. And the closure of roads, it merely will create another problem somewhere else.
It is a hazard to the children's health. And we think that children's health should come before commerce.
Asthma cases have doubled in the last 20 years, and now the condition is costing the health service over £450 million a year. In the last few days, the debate over air quality has been more heated than ever. Record temperatures have put the question of links between asthma and traffic fumes at the top of the public agenda.
There's no doubt to my mind that traffic is the major source of urban air pollution. On a day-to-day basis, we're looking at patients with asthma, with chronic bronchitis and emphysema, who, when the weather is bad, and pollution is bad with it, will find that their asthma or their chest condition is a little bit worse. There is some work which suggests that children with asthma who live nearer to main roads are more likely to be affected by the traffic that goes past may be more likely to be admitted to hospital.
In a week when record temperatures hit the headlines, the battle being fought out in Greenwich is fast becoming a focus for nationwide concerns about car pollution and congestion. It's almost midnight on July the 31st at Dagenham Motors in Barking. This is the biggest day of the year for the motor industry. An Essex man has turned up for the launch of the new N-Reg number plates. The annual launch party is the glamorous face of new car ownership, but this is an industry under attack. Worries about health and congestion and the new anti-car activists have all put the car industry on the defensive.
One of the biggest problems is not why we need them, but we already have them. And what we're trying to do is actually deal with the problems that have been created over many years. I think most people who have a car understand why we need them, because they're very useful, very flexible, and do great things for individuals' lives.
People want to get about in their cars, that's sure, but people also want to breathe clean air. They want to be able to walk down the streets. They want their kids to be able to walk on the streets safely. I think that the fact that you have 23 million people owning cars isn't an argument for the car system. I think it's just a reflection of how dependent individuals have become on cars.
In 1979, Margaret Thatcher launched her new government with this ringing battle cry.
Nothing should be allowed to come in the way of the great car economy.
Now, congested traffic crawls across central London at an average speed of 12 miles an hour, and even the government could be changing its tune.
The 2 o'clock news, this is Joanna Gosling. The government is calling on motorists to leave their cars at home because the heatwave is pushing pollution to danger levels. But London Labour MP...
I think that the government is veering round to recognising the impossibility of solving the problem in the way in which they've been pursuing for the last few decades. They have been pursuing the idea that it is possible to build enough roads to provide congestion-free motoring for everyone who wants it. That, I think, is now recognised even in the Department of Transport as being an impossibility.
I think what we need is to improve the road network we have. That's very clear. That's what government policy has been for the best part of a decade, and it's certainly what we have been calling for. There is a need for some strategic road improvements, but the majority of work is about upgrading the existing road network and providing bypasses for badly congested and suffering towns and villages.
It's 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Usually this North London street is clogged with traffic. Today it's been blocked by protesters.
We came out of the tube station, took the street, the police turned up afterwards. There's lots of people here, everyone's enjoying themselves.
This street party has been organised by a group calling themselves Reclaim the Streets. They've grown out of the protest movement against the M11 link road in East London. The debate about car congestion and environment has been kick-started by this new breed of direct activist. Over 2,000 people turn up to the party, a measure of the growing support for the new anti-car movement. Police do manage to keep some traffic moving, but motorists are not impressed.
It's wrong. It's wrong. But they cannot claim what belongs to them, really.
Why do you say that it's wrong?
Because the street belongs to everybody.
What the hell is it?
It's a protest rally.
Well, fine place to hold it if it's in the middle of a main road.
That's the point, actually.
Oh, lovely.
Motorists are always getting fed up, that's true, but you know, our battle isn't really with individual motorists. It's more about the whole car system and the predominance of the motor car. We want to celebrate the possibility of car-free streets, really.
By 8 in the evening, this is what happens. Police riot squads arrive in force to try and clear away the remaining partygoers. It quickly turns nasty. Missiles are thrown, 10 people are arrested.
Just go away. What, you mean like everybody else? Just go.
It all provides extra ammunition for the critics.
Well, the fact is that if you block up Upper Street on a Sunday, you actually create congestion and pollution, because people cannot access as they would. So therefore, you're actually making congestion worse. You actually, I mean, Upper Street is an incredibly busy bus route.
They're calling attention to a real problem. The violence is always counterproductive, I believe, but there is a long tradition in this country, considerable experience that suggests that direct action in the form of demonstrating by being there to show your displeasure with government policy can be very effective in changing government policy.
Wells in Somerset is England's smallest city, and those who live here want to keep it that way. But Wells is divided over the local council's plans for a road to relieve city centre congestion. These people have become road protesters. They include an interior designer, an advertising executive, and a management consultant. One of them is a grandmother. But they're determined to stop a section of the new road being built through the local school playing fields.
We all are agreed, I think everybody living here, that we have to relieve the high street traffic. But to relieve it by producing worse devastation, with all our lovely fields here just going to be totally destroyed. And we know through experience from many other places that when a relief road comes or a bypass, it always attracts more and more traffic. So we're going to get more fumes, more traffic, more noise, more air pollution.
You can't build any road anywhere without affecting the environment. This one is 80% on an old railway line, on a degraded environment anyway. Yes, it damages the bottom of some playing fields, and that's regrettable, but it's only a 30-metre wide strip, and this is the only way we think we can protect the city.
These protesters know they're jumping in at the deep end, so they've joined up with other local activists and are off to take advice from some experts. Their destination, a protest village of some tree houses at Fairmile in Devon.
I want to look and see how they've coped with different protests and see if there's anything that can help us in Wells, because we don't want to be violent in any way. We want to have a peaceful demonstration, but we want to be able to be effective in what we do.
Since October, around 30 people have lived in the camp at Fairmile. It's been dubbed Britain's first university of road protesting, and this is their first open day. They live in trees to prevent them from being cut down by contractors.
What you do is you take up your slam and keeping attention.
This is the first lesson.
You're now in fully braked position.
No, not been any eviction notices or anything served on that.
There's also advice from people who've been at the sharp end.
It's work of art, actually. Is it scary going up down? Have you got used to it now? It is scary. It's scary, but it's good fun.
Some of the full-time activists here have learned their trade at other camps. They've added millions to the cost and months of delays to road projects across the country. At Twyford Down, the extra security to cope with them cost over £4 million. What the Wells visitors are learning are the basic techniques in a business which can turn nasty and violent.
You learn as you go along, because we have done many of these things before. But if you feel strongly enough about things, you have to be prepared to, have your eyes opened and just get on with things. You will make mistakes.
Good morning, this is Dr. Fox at the world-famous Capital Breakfast Show. Another gorgeous day in London town. 92 degrees the high, and we'll check out the traffic with Russ Kane and the Flying Eye next.
A12 Colchester Road at Harold Hill. Broken down lorry, exactly jammers where you don't want it. Clockwise between 9 and 10 Leatherhead in the A3. Heading right the way back there to Junction 8. Blackwall Tunnel northbound, a very old grumpy mood there. A13, westbound Canning Town Drive, I've got to mention that.
You jump in front of my car when you know all the time. 90 miles an hour, girl, is the speed I drive. You tell me it's all right.
There are 20 million cars in this country, more than ever before. In 30 years' time, there will be half as many again. For years, the government has seen the car as a symbol of success and freedom. But now they've started to acknowledge the health hazards from exhaust fumes. They've even set up a helpline.
There now follows the forecast for the area you have selected. Nitrogen dioxide. Poor. Ozone. Poor. Sulfur dioxide. Poor.
This is the kind of image the motor industry has always tried to promote. But the new intensity of the air pollution debate has made this particular sales pitch backfire. In a Birmingham back street, the Midland cell of Reclaim the Streets are out on their first protest action. This group have around 25 members. Most have daytime jobs, and one of them was even once a lorry driver. They're attacking what they regard as motor industry propaganda, and it's a strategy which has been adopted elsewhere in the country. Their methods may look basic, but they're deadly serious about trying to undermine the advertiser's image of the car. They borrowed the shock tactics of other groups who've protested against cigarettes and the fur trade.
I think it's a serious image, a serious message we're trying to get across. Is that cars pollute and kill people. And not many car drivers actually realise that when they get in their car, they're polluting the atmosphere.
Personally, I think it's criminal to educate people through advertising to think that cars are flowery and pleasant and environmentally friendly, which they're not.
I would have a certain amount of, I guess, more respect if they actually had a solution to the problems they put forward. They talk in generalities when confronted with specifics. It is vacuous.
Back in Wales, it's time for action. The diggers have already started work outside the city. The protesters have decided to head them off with a show of strength. Hardened activists have already been bussed in from the Fairmile camp, and they have no qualms about breaking the law. After some hesitation, a group of local mothers and school children join in. Soon, the protesters are the only ones working. Aurora Barclay and her friends are also prepared to take direct action to stop the diggers, even though some of them have misgivings.
I am worried. I can feel my heart beating faster. I have never done this before. You know, I am very much aware of the fact that I'm putting myself at risk, but I feel so deeply that this destruction should not be allowed to carry on, and that if the only way to stop it, however temporarily, is to do this, then I'm prepared to do it.
You're breaking the law there. Are you worried?
No, not in this instance. I'm not doing any harm, so I feel justified in doing this.
I've never broken the law before, let alone like this.
One man is arrested, but by most standards, this hasn't been a particularly violent demonstration, and the action is all over in a couple of hours. Predictably, the protesters do not impress the council.
I suspect that they are a minute minority, and many of them don't even come from Somerset, they don't even live around here, and we are lucky enough to have attracted a sort of 20-odd people who I would describe as our portable renter mob, because they appear and make a fuss and complain about almost every issue.
Many people I've spoken to are middle-class people, grandmothers, working people, professional people. They're not renter mob, and they live here.
The major people are making most of the noise I would describe as not local and not involved in the consultation process before.
These people haven't got anything right to ask their questions.
No, they don't. They're not in this is the
April this year, another Reclaim the Streets campaign against the road builders. This time the British Roads Federation, a road industry lobby group, get a surprise visit.
Grow up! Grow up!
They said they wanted to talk to me about these vitally important road issues. I asked them why they hadn't bothered phoning in advance, and they said they didn't have the time. The world was dying, so therefore everything was very immediate and they needed to talk to me urgently. So I agreed that they could talk to me.
It wasn't the most effective action I've been on, but having said that, we went there, we hung out a banner. You know, we must have annoyed them for a day, you know, made them think about what they're doing.
We then trooped outside and I spoke to about 2 or 3, whilst the rest danced around amongst the traffic for the best part of an hour, and then they went.
We are idealists, but I mean, I think unless you've got a sense of where you're going as a society, unless as a society we've decided we want to get rid of cars, you can't even begin to work out how to get there.
But there's bad news for the idealists in Wells. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the diggers move in and work begins on the playing fields. It's a devastating blow for the protesters.
I'm appalled to see the children's sports pitches being dug up and banked up. Sports pitches that have been there for hundreds of years.
Some of the campaigners are still squatting in a building in the path of the road. But it looks as though the game may be up.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, it's horrible to see the fences, but these can be taken down and this can be put back again. And a different approach. We want a proper integrated transport approach to Wells.
Have some respect for the democratic process. Have some respect for the fact that people who care about the environment have talked and discussed and debated these issues for nearly 30 years. And this is the only answer that combined wisdom can come up with.
They've put up their fencing, but that's it. That fencing can be taken right back down again. The Berlin Wall went up, but it came down. Exactly the same thing can happen here.
Last Friday, road protesting took another turn. Reclaim the Streets were out again, sealing off a busy street in Greenwich in support of the parents who want a main road closed off because of pollution. Not everyone is happy to see the activists.
If I don't work, I don't get paid. Public transport is free today. Oh, yeah? What is it, Shakespeare's pony, eh?
The demonstration causes traffic chaos. That, of course, is the point.
She's blocking my road, mate. Just upsetting the public.
This is a long way from a Sunday afternoon street party. A demonstration during the week in rush hour on a major route through London is a new and more aggressive move. But some of the Greenwich Parents Action Group are glad of the support.
Our struggle is to bring it to the notice of everyone, not just in this area, but throughout. I'm sure that the result of our actions here and these people from Reclaim the Streets is going to highlight and bring it forward, and perhaps we'll see more action from other individuals around the country.
The hardline activists are still relatively few in number and often disorganised, but the effect they achieve can be dramatic. If the battles over pollution and congestion continue, then the image of the car, the symbol of freedom and prosperity, could permanently lose its lustre.
Each and every day there is a demonstration by millions of car owners, by hundreds of thousands of companies about the need for the road network and for the use of motor vehicles, because they go to work in them, they go shopping in them, they take their kids to school, they pursue a whole range of leisure activities, and goods get moved around the country. That's each and every day.
This is a way for people to do things, to actually make a change. If people see what we're doing here, they might stop, even just 1 second, stop and think, hold on, why are these people doing it?